let's take a look at setting your window in the TI Inspire calculator. So what we can do up to this point is we can draw a graph and we can use trace and intersection to find all the important points that we want to find. So we can find the max, we can find the roots, and then we can find the height of the graph by using this little intersection trick by drawing a horizontal line through. The trick is, and those are really the only questions we can ask when you're analyzing a graph. The trick is finding a graph on the window when it doesn't fit in the standard window. Okay, so let's take a look at a problem that does that. So here we go. Yeah, this is kind of it's a problem solving one, right? So here we go. So TI has found that the revenue produced by selling TI-83, you can tell how old this problem is, graphing calculators is a function of the price in dollars per unit according to a given equation. All right, so when I look at this equation, this is what we're just trying to mimic in our calculator what this equation is going to give us here, right? And if I see the minus and I see the squared and I see that both of these have a variable with them, I know that if I put 0 in for the price, I'm going to get 0 out for the revenue. Does that make sense? So if I put 0 in, so here's all our prices down here. 0, we set the $0 is the price that this is dealing with the calculator. $1, $2, $3, $4, and on and on and on. Those prices of one calculator is going to generate a revenue for all the calculators that we sell. Okay, and the shape is going to look like an upside down parabola. All right, but check out what happens when we actually go to graph it in the calculator. I think I might already have it in there. Okay, so here we go. Here's our equation minus, let's go to tab so we can see what we actually put in there. Minus 150, and you have to put x in, not p, right? Or else, because the calculator only recognizes x as the independent variable for the grapher. Okay, but here's our equation. We dump it in, and when I push enter, we get this. Okay, we get a little line that's on the y-axis, but we don't see the parabola that we should. And that doesn't mean that you've done something wrong. It just means that the window isn't set properly. So to find out something, we want to know something about all the prices of the calculator. So our biggest price here for setting a TI-83 calculator was $10. It's going to be more than 10 bucks, even a TI-83. So we're talking into the hundreds, right? And the revenue, the problem really didn't say how many calculators were going to get sold or anything like that. They just gave us the function. So we've got to go look at some information and see what is going to be the domain and range of our graph. And I think the best way to look at that is by the table. So to jump a table up for that same function, we can go Control T. And I just want to get over to the right function because I've got a couple more in here. This is F3, right? The one we're looking at. So we want to look over here. There we go. And I'm just going to highlight on these ones so that the right values come up down here. Okay, so let's take a look. And all this is saying is it's giving us the corresponding data for each x as we go up 1x at a time, right? So these are the prices. When the price is 0, our revenue is 0. And that's what we said it should be. When the price is 3, my revenue is already 61,000. So we're selling a whole pile of calculators, right? But this is giving us a sense of what revenue numbers we want to be able to see. Okay, so if I keep going down here, all of these numbers are still increasing, right? If I set the calculator to 20 bucks, it's going to be 360,000. If I set the calculator to 40 bucks, we're up to 600 and some thousand, right? And we're still increasing. Every time I go up, the number's going up, right? I go up a price. So we want to find maybe a spot along here somewhere where we can see the price keep going up and then finally start to decrease. And it looks like it's in there someplace, right? So here I was at 73 for somewhere in here. It looks like there's a peak, right? Because I'm going from, where is it here? 734,850. Looks like the biggest number at around $69. And it's just an estimate because we can't see like the cents in between. and then here it kind of goes down. But long story short, if this is a parabola and my maximum, right, that's around the maximum. Let's go back to the other page. That's around my maximum right here, right? Okay, that means that at $69, around here someplace, I'm going to find a maximum. If this is a quadratic and that's my axis of symmetry, let's do 70 just for fun. That means that I'm going to have about out to 140 here, right? Okay, so that's giving me enough information to go to be able to set my window on my calculator. So let's get away from the table and go back to my graph here, and let's go set our window. So our menu was, we want to go window zoom, and we're going to go up to window settings. Okay, and these X and where it says X min and X max is just where I see the graph. So it goes from -10 to 10, right? That's my max setting. Okay, and what did I want to go to? I wanted to go up to, I wanted this one to stretch out to my x-axis to go to about 140. So you just leave a little extra space, right? I'm going to leave 150. This one was about 745,000. Okay, that's how big I wanted my y max to go to. Right now, this distance is 6. So it's nowhere near what we want to see, right? So I'm going to go into here, and I'm just going to set it at a big number, a million. Because I was at about 700,000. This is going to give me an accurate enough description of what's going on. Is that actually a million? Did I say 3 zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. Yeah. Okay. And so we can push enter here, and we're going to get our picture. I would just make the suggestion that for the y min, you might want to set out about, I would say, a quarter of the space of what you've got for your y max if you're going to see there, because lots of times you want to be able to kind of work on the screen, and you want some extra space down here. So I'm going to make my y min negative 250,000. Okay, and now we can see. So it's going to give me 250,000 down here. It's going to give me a million up here, -10 here, and 150 here. And if we looked at our table properly, when I push OK, we should see a parabola. Oh, there it is. That's good. Okay, so now I can go and do all the same things that I, off of this graph that I looked for before. So what are a couple of the questions? If I want to go find the maximum revenue, okay, I use trace to do it. What would be the revenue if they decide to charge $100? That's an X in. I go a Y out. I can use trace for that as well. Okay. When will and these types of questions we can answer, but those are the same things that we did, using trace, using an intersection. When are you getting an X to find the Y, and when are you getting a Y to find the X? Okay. So here, let's just look at trace real quick. Menu, trace. Okay. And so we can find the max by looking up here. Just wait till the little flag pops up. And it was right at $70. So when 70 goes in, 735,000 comes out. Okay. And if I wanted to find out, what revenue would be, they asked the question, what's the revenue at 100? I can just plug 100 in, and the revenue comes out. Okay. Let's say we wanted to make sure that our revenue was, I don't know, 500,000. Okay, so they're giving us a Y there. I go to tab, put in my 500,000. Okay, so I can see the height, and now I'm going to use the intersection. Menu 6.4 to find the intersection. So there's one. You got to do them one at a time. So my price could be set at $30.42 to get my $500,000 revenue, or we'll just do the next one. My my price could be set at, let's analyze the graph again, 6, 4, and we'll just go and find the other intersection now. The other one, it looks like, could be at $109.58, would also get me a $500,000 revenue out. But it's that using the table to find out what the domain, appropriate domain and range of the graph is that I've found has been really helpful for people to set their window so that when they go to plug in their equation, here I'm just going to set it back to the standard, and they go to push enter and they see nothing for their graph here, they can go and find the problem properly. Okay, so that should do it. Do your homework. Be good.